The Department of Mysteries doesn't roar. It makes a rhythmic, agonizing sound, glass breaking and reforming, over and over, forever.
In 1996, a cabinet in the time room shattered during a fight between the Order and the Death Eaters. Right then, the Ministry of Magic's monopoly on time vanished. We were told the Ministry was the ultimate protector of history. But if they actually controlled time, why did they keep their most dangerous technology in what was basically a cheap display case?
The Ministry's power over time was built on hypocrisy. They warned about the dangers of changing the past, yet they treated these devices like simple government assets to balance on a ledger. They thought bureaucracy was a shield. They assumed locking the time-turners in one room made them safe. That plan only worked if the Department of Mysteries was impenetrable. It wasn't. When that cabinet fell, the time-turners weren't just broken. They got trapped in an impossible paradox, looping forever between shattering and repairing. They basically erased themselves from existence. The Ministry didn't just lose their inventory. They lost the ability to ever use them again, forever. Some call this pure negligence. They argue the Department of Mysteries was a sacred vault where the Ministry could ignore the coming war. They convinced themselves the room was safe because they needed it to be. If that room was vulnerable, then everything was. But we have to look at what's missing. We don't know if the Ministry could make more, but Dolores Umbridge's desperation after the war suggests they couldn't. Even after Voldemort fell, officials scrambled to find any remaining devices. They spent decades controlling time, only to end up locked out of the room entirely. People still whisper about whether the Ministry actually owned every single device. If other governments or private collectors had their own, the British monopoly was a myth. They were guarding a display cabinet, while real power was already out there in the world. The tragedy of the time-turners is how they were wasted. The Ministry treated a force of nature like a filing cabinet. When it fell, they lost more than their toys. They lost their grip on reality. That broken shelf ended the Ministry's control over time. They spent years trying to manage the hours, trying to make sure no one could outrun the sun. In the end, time ran out on them anyway. They were left with nothing but broken glass and their own ruined pride. The vault is empty. For the first time, the Ministry must live in a world where the past is permanent and out of reach. By destroying their monopoly, they accidentally got the safety they wanted, but they got it through failure, not planning. They were so afraid